Okay, we're gonna bring up a couple more things today. Actually, I had some subscribers ask me to go back over this. The first one is love work. Everybody, uh, this is my take on it, and it's only my take on it. You know, when you go to a root worker, me, him, her, them, doesn't make a difference. But when y'all agree to work together, take the time that when you decide to work together, and if they ask you for some items, send them some items that they may need to prepare their work. Take that time and go through your mourning. What I'm talking about is you mourn when you lose a family member or a good friend. Uh, you think about the good times that y'all had and stuff like that. You know how they made you feel. How they made you feel happy, and y'all laughed about things. And y'all talked about things. Take that time to mourn, and then when the work is ready and prepared, then you have went through that process. Um, that way you can have a different mindset of when the work starts instead of mourning at the work at the beginning of the work. That can be done. So that part's out the way because I've said it many times, and other people have said it many times. It's your intentions and the energy that you put into the work that makes it go better, and sometimes easier and sometimes faster because you have taken that time to clear that out your head. It's a human thing. We all mourn about things. So if you can take that time till the work is prepared and ready, it'll make it easier for you because you've already done that. You've already went through that. Also, a time frame. Everybody asks, and it's just human nature. They ask me, him, her, them about how long you think this will take. Um, the answer I started giving out is how long did it take to you to get to where you're at now, where you had to reach out and call somebody for help. Because everybody, they start to work, and 2, 3 weeks later, I'm not seeing nothing. I'm not seeing no movement or anything. Well, if it took you months to get to the point where one of y'all left, that's a good time frame or almost time frame of how long it's going to take. Because let's face it, things have to go out there and clean up a mess like Merry Maids. So y'all have been together years and everything was working good up to about 4, 3, 4 months, and things started to deteriorate. Yeah, that's about the time frame. Uh, I'm not saying that's the exact time frame, but I'm saying that may be the time frame because the worst thing to have somebody do is to latch onto that person and bring them right back in an amazing amount of time, and you got the same person that walked out the door, still belligerent, still argumentative, still hooping and hollering with you, uh, all the mean things. That's not doing you any good to bring back the same person that you had. So just think about how long it took. And I've had people tell me, about 3 weeks. Well, something dramatically happened in those 3 weeks. If everything was running smooth and copacetic, something dramatically happened. And you're not saying what it is. Uh, if you're in love with somebody and knew they love you, something happened that took only 2 or 3 weeks to have them leave, male or female. So, and try not to hold nothing back. Um, I guess people are afraid, and it's human nature also to be judged by somebody. I don't judge nobody. I don't. I can't. Uh, I wasn't put on this earth to judge people. You're only going to get judged from God, and you can judge yourself. So don't worry about, how our work is going to take it. Um, the more honest you are, the better it will go because there'll be no surprises as the work gets started. If you forget to say things or afraid to say something about what happened in the breakup, and then you bring it up after the work has started, yeah, there's many things that could have been done if that was brought up beforehand that could have affected the work much better than what it may be doing now. So don't worry about being judged. I'm not here to judge nobody, and I don't think any other worker is going to judge you for what brought you to this point. Like I said, I wouldn't put on this earth to judge people. I wasn't. Uh, to me, there's only one judgment coming, and that's the judgment day for all of us. That's who judges us. So, taking that into account and every other thing, just be honest. And like I said, do your morning when you decide that this workers you want to work with, and they ask you for items. You may have certain items that would help, photographs, hair, articles of clothes, something like that that could be added into the work that makes it stronger. Take that time when you mail it to how many days it take to get to the worker. Take that time and mourn, and then when the work start, you've went through that. That's one thing more out of your way, and stop with the how long thing, because it's not under any of us time frame. When the work is set up and the spirits are collected and go out, we're on their time. And I don't mind. I know it's an easy world today where you can, call DoorDash and have your food in your house in 20 minutes. You can get shit from Amazon, eBay and stuff in 2, 3 days, even fast if you want to pay the extra money for like overnight. It really don't work like that. This ain't an app. It's not an app. It doesn't work like that. And as far as asking how long you think this is going to take, before you ask that question, and you still will, no matter if you see this video or another worker said it on their sites, is take into account how long things took before, like I said, your significant other walked out. So, like I said, I've had people tell me, well, we was doing great, been together for 3 years, and the last 3 weeks, everything just, fell apart. Well, something happened, and you know it, and they know it. Something dramatically like that happened. That's some shit just ain't, snuck up on you. Say what it was, even what you think it was, and then it could be taken from there. Uh, I know it's hard to lose somebody. I know the feelings that come with that. Uh, but at least you signed somebody on that can help you and do things a little bit better. Um, People ask me all the time about candle work. Candle work works. Um, you get a candle, you cleanse it with Florida water or rum. You can check and see what oil may be particular for what you want and the herbs that go with it. Uh, Put some oil inside the candle with your finger and then sprinkle the herbs in there and sit down and write your petition from your heart and then hold the candle before you light it and talk your intentions into it. Now you took an inanimate object to an animate object. And I've had a lot of people tell me, I've done candle work, and I got movement from it, but then it stops. Well, yeah, because candle work is kind of the slowest and weakest work that you could do, but you will get results. But it's how many times you want to keep going and stop, going, keep and stops, and going, keep going and stops. So I'm not saying candle work is bad. I do believe in it, but it does take longer with candle work, especially uh, going past love work. If you feel somebody had put something on you, it's going to take a while for that candle work to strip that off you. Yeah, you're gonna get movement and start feeling, and then all of a sudden it's gonna stop, like it hit a brick wall. You light another candle, and yeah, you're gonna get movement, and it stops like a brick wall. So it's how long you want to spend lighting candles to get rid of this. Uh, it's so many things involved with it. So many things. Like I said, just you got to remember to do your mourning, get that out of the way. Like I said, a death in the family. You're gonna mourn that person for about 5 days, and then I'm gonna move on now, and just remember the good times and stuff y'all had, and think about what you brought to the table that didn't help the situation. You know, I love hearing when a client says, "I know what I did. I gotta fix myself." I love hearing that because now they realize they need to correct what they did, because if you don't correct yourself, the person comes back. You're the same person again that they're seeing. Also, remember, you could have been together for years, and once the breakup happens, when they come back, or when y'all first start talking, and these days it's usually to text first. Everybody's gonna text first before they talk. Sometimes it don't work like that. It's usually text, call, and then a meeting. But it's not written in stone like that. They can start off coming to you to sit down and talk, but most of the time it starts out with a text. The worst thing to do, and you got to keep this in mind, the worst thing that you can do is to bring up shit during the text or during your conversations on the phone. Stop asking why you did this, why you seeing her, why you seeing him, why you lied to me. Stop that. It's not helping at all. What you're doing is just pushing that person back, because it is not the time for that. It's not. And as I say many times, watch what you wish for, because the day will come up when they come back, they're going to sit down and tell you things, why they did it. And they're not being mean, they're not being facetious, they're not trying to hurt you, they're telling you the God's honest truth, because they don't want nothing to come up after all this is over and they're back with you to bite them in their ass. Okay? So stop doing that. Play it like it's the first time y'all ever met and ever spoke. What happened before and what y'all had is the past. When they walked away, he or she walked away, you started again. What happened up to that period is now the past. Um, and going back to try to live in that past didn't really work out for you to the breakup. Okay? And I tried to instill in people, male and females, when the work's going on and they're coming back, we get movement. I don't want my clients, and this is me again, I don't want my clients to be playing by their rules anymore. You played by their rules, and it really didn't work. Okay? Uh, I don't want you walking through their minefield and you don't know where they laid their minds at. So it's just the energy that could be put in. Because if you don't tell your worker what you think brought up the breakup, and either you're self-conscious and you don't want to say nothing to look like an idiot or a fool, or they're going to judge you, and then a couple of weeks down the line, you all, salted because you're not seeing any real movement, is because you forgot to say the most important thing that could have been added to the work and to fix that. So just be honest. Like I said, I don't judge people. I don't have time for that. I got people judge me all the time. That's just part of human nature. But your real judgment will come on the end day, not from a human being. Okay? You can judge yourself all the time to try to make yourself better. And like I said, the best thing I can hear a client tell me is, I know what I did wrong and I need to clear this. That's very good. That's very good, because the more energy and intentions you can put into that work, the faster things will move along. So it's there'll be times where you get movement, it slows down, then it goes stagnant, and then it picks back up again because it's being cleaned up. You can't expect any energy to go out and clean something up that took months for y'all to develop and screw up, and expect that's how it's going to work on the work side. So Keep that in mind. Uh, like I said, no matter what I say and how many times I say it or anybody says it, it's human. You gotta ask the question. It's human nature to know a time frame. Uh, the only time I know nobody's asking the time frame is when you sit in front of your doctor and they ran the test on you and they come back with something a little heavy. Uh, I'm quite sure you're not sitting there going, how long will it take to fix this? No, your response will probably be, okay, what can we do? What can we do to get this, fixed or whatever? And sometimes that nothing you can do can fix it. So it's not saying that you sitting there like talking to your MD, and but I'm quite sure if you go in there with a broken leg and they reset it, uh, you may ask how long want to be in this brace or the splint or something like that, and they'll tell you, because things heal in about the same manner, unless there's an infection or something that sets in. But as a specific day, the doctor ain't gonna tell you that because that's giving you false hope. Okay, so it's the same way with everything else. So just remember these little points and factors. Like I said, when you decide to work with somebody, keep this in mind, and it'll probably have things go faster and better for you. So that's about all that was brought up to me that needs to be retouched on is get that time from the time, like I said, from the time you send the worker the items that's needed. Um, Hell, even through the post office, even the post office got even slower these days. And they said that at the beginning of the year. Price has gone up, service time's gone down. That gives you a time to mourn. And you're gonna keep mourning after that because you miss them and you love them and you want them back. That's cool. But a lot of people let that override and they slip into this hole and figure they can't get out of it. That's the worst thing to do because once you defeated yourself, you defeated anything. It's almost like having a test put in front of you and you just stop right there and don't go any further. Well, a lot of things that we go through in life are small tests to see if we're going to overcome that and keep going and receive what we're working for, what we've been working after. It's like the old uh, wagon wheels in front houses. And this was said through history or whatever that when you see the two wagon wheels out of driveway or back in the old days, that's where the wagon broke down and they wasn't going any further. They couldn't go no further. That was their plot of land that they was going to start to develop and build their life on. So there are times that you can stop, but they just didn't lay the wagon wheels down and then go curl up on the side of a tree and just pass away. I got to build a house. I got to get my animals. I got to take care of my cattle or my chickens or whatever. But they kept pushing. Okay, it's like Job in the Bible. To me, that was some hardcore shit for the devil and God to make that deal about Job. The devil said, all the things that you've given him, the blessings, you take that away from him, he'll probably turn his back on you. And the Lord said, no, yeah, go ahead and do what you want to do, but you can't kill him. Well, everything else was done to him. He lost his home, lost his animals, lost his entire family, but never gave up his faith. Now, to me, that was kind of a heavy-handed deal to make, just to see if somebody wouldn't turn their back and their faith on you. But who am I? I think we all on a big old chessboard and we all chess pieces to be moved around. So just remember these small factors. Remember to say, even if you don't think it's important, what you might have thought brought this on or what they was doing. Because like I said, I've heard many times from clients, oh, it started about 3 weeks ago. and then you're completely inept and wasn't paying attention anymore to the relationship. And a lot of people were skirt out on you just for that and became complicit, which we do. That's another human nature. We're not the same ball of fire that we were at the beginning, but we're saying the human being that loved that person. And it's hard for me to believe if something dramatically happened that fast, you'll know. And especially with love work, male and female, you worried about it if they have somebody else as soon as they walked out. Well, if they had somebody else as soon as they walked out, you should have seen that red flag somewhere along the line. You may have just thought about it, but they had something lined up, knowing when the day comes they'll have something lined up. Now then you got to sit there and kind of foster what you gonna do about it. I usually have people when they're doubtful, they want to do the work, but they're doubtful about getting somebody back. I usually have them sit down when it's quiet, have an aggravation, get away from the cell phone, get away from your iPad, put it in another room, sit down and number 1 to 10 on one side of paper and write the 10 reasons that brought y'all together. And then flip it over and 1 to 10 again, the things that brought y'all to split up. And it's usually when you put pen to paper, I've had people call me back and say, no, can we do an attraction spell for, just to get somebody to me, because I couldn't make it on the other side to all 10. And I've had people tell me they're still numbering from 1 to 10 on the side that helped them break up or what their thoughts were. So it's easier to understand that because you're writing it down. And they always said, and I guess this is true too, when somebody takes the time to sit down and write something, they mean it, they're thinking about it. So these are some simple things I was asked to bring back up and knew I had to bring up. Your morning time until the work gets started, asking about how long this is going to take. That's natural, that's human nature. But also, before you ask that question, somebody, 100 people can see this, and 25 can call, and they'll still ask because it's human nature. And my response has been, how long did it take y'all two to mess it up before you had to go to somebody and try to get help? So it's that, and just keep a positive outcome. Be strong, because the more energy you can give to the spirits that's out there working, the stronger they'll become. So just remember these things. And like I said, it's me, him, her, them, whoever. And the work will probably go smoother and faster if you just remember these things. And there's a million other things that could be brought up, but for the sake of time, I can sit here for 3 days and probably go over things. So if you remember these facts, you should be all right. It should help your worker, and it should help move things along, okay? Because if you leave out some important information at the beginning, you can't get salty at the worker because things are dragging and you're not seeing movement, or you're in the slow. You can't blame them because you wasn't outright, with the information. Because if it was something that was bad on the side of doing it, it could have been at the beginning of the work, and help turn it around. Don't bring it up in the middle of the work, And once again, don't trust what you see on Instagram and Facebook about what's going on. I made a video about that, how most of the time it's your best friend that's typing in and telling you things that's not true, because misery loves company. So if you remember these things, we should be all right, no matter who's doing the work. So I thank you for your time. And as always, I ask you to like, share, and subscribe.